Welcome everyone welcome to another video brought to you by Scottish Warrior 92. This is a clan request video, and this was requested by the clan member Gamer83, GamerMD83. Eek, I fucked up there. But she requested that I say some of my favourite gaming characters. Now originally I did intend to do it as my top 5, but unfortunately there are too many of my favourite gaming characters I didn't want to leave out. And I just said, you know what, screw it, I'll just name some of my favourite ones in different categories. I've got about 6 categories here that I'm going to name some of my favourites. Now, I've got the list here, so I will be glancing down at it every now and then, but I can name most of it off by heart. Now, one of the first ones I did was companions. These are characters that I absolutely love to have in my party, and they're almost every single time in my party in games, or they are with you throughout the entire game. I'm getting called Mass Effect and Dragon Age, but they're always with you. They're either always with you in the game, or they're selectable in the game as party members. And one of my all-time favourite ones is Garrus Vakarian from the Mass Effect universe, and he is just plain and simple. He's a fucking amazing character. I just love how he's loyal. He will, as soon as he's your friend basically, and he will defend you. If you help him out, he helps you out. And he never gives up. No matter how dangerous the odds, he will jump into hell and back for a friend just for the fun of it. And he is just that badass. And I'm hoping he'll have a major role in Mass Effect 3, but I don't want to go on too much. But he's just absolutely amazing. He's just a brilliant character. Very deep and very tortured as well. He has a dark past, and he doesn't like talking about it much, but you managed to convince him for most of it. But and he also knows how to slide off a joke every now and then, which is always great. Another one of my favourite companion characters is Ogryn. Just for the famed fact he's a drunk dwarf, that's it. He's funny as fuck. That's all I can say. Makes me laugh every single time, and he's always in my party 90% of the time, and he's just an outright hoot to have. So let's go to the next one. Cortana from the Halo games. Now a lot of people are going, what? She's not a companion, she's a main character or a side character. She's a companion to the Master Chief, and that's why I love her. She knows everything. She knows everything. She's witty, she's charming, and she's just very funny to have. And I consider her a companion because that's what she is to Master Chief, because there's a lot of like love thing going between them, and it's just absolutely amazing, and I love it. And there's a lot of tension, and then she's very like, oh, you keep your promises, and she's very sarcastic and witty, and I just love her. I just love her. She's an amazing character. Just my honest opinion. So that's the companion ones on. There were going to be like a dozen people in this list, but I had to shorten it down because I didn't want to keep you waiting. But maybe I'll do a full video on my favourite companions. Now let's move on to one of my favourite topics. Badass. And my favourite badasses? Right, you know what? I'm going to get Badass Scottish Warrior. See you in a... Good evening, clan. Long time no see. Scottish Warrior's brought me back, and Badass Scottish Warrior will give you his favourite badass characters. Now, his badass characters, who are not quite as badass as me, are fairly linear. They're fairly the same ones. Number one badass, of course, has to go to Urdnot Wrex from the Mass Effect games. He is an absolutely outstanding character. I would love to have a nice wee fight with him. He knows who you are. If you're his friend, he will come and defend you till the end. He's a badass motherfucker, and he doesn't give two shits who's in his path. He will happily kill someone just for the fun of it. And he's well better than Grunt in my opinion. He is just a personification of a Krogan. He will kick your fucking ass as soon as look at you. You betray him, he will kill you like that. And that's why he's on the badass list. Next badass goes to Master Chief from the Halo games. He is an absolutely badass motherfucker. He's the luckiest son of a bitch there is. He will dive through space just to blow up a fucking ship. And he does it in the game, and it makes him honorary badass motherfucker. He will kick your ass as well. He is master of all weapons, and he is gladly quite sarcastic as well. He always has to have a good time, and he always loves to have a laugh. The next badass on this list goes to the one, the only, Leon S. Kennedy from the Resident Evil games. He's the only action character that can pull off that bowl cut. Very few people can do it, but he's the only one who pulls it off perfectly. And he's just a badass motherfucker. He will kill zombies left, right, and center. You give him a job to do, no matter how impossible it seems, he will complete that task. And let's just face it, he looks fucking cool as fuck. Not as cool as me, of course. I've got the gloves, I've got the shades, and I got the hair. And of course the beard. Now the next one on this one is someone who isn't also quite a fond fan of the shades, and of course the leather coat. Unfortunately I don't have mine with me today, but it is Albert Wesker from the Resident Evil games. He thinks he's perfect, and he is near enough the perfect villain. He wants to create the world in his own image. He knows everything. He's always right, you're always wrong, and he is fast, he's strong, and of course he pulls off the orange eyes spectacularly. He's the only blonde, spike-haired guy you could really be scared of. And of course his gun kicks fucking ass. He can rip your heart out with his bare hands. I'd love to sit down and have a beer with him one day, but unfortunately he's not real, and I am. But all I can say is Albert Wesker is one of the best badass motherfuckers. Now, let me just get the weakling Scottish warrior back, so we can continue this pitiful list as to the rest of the pussies. See ya! We enjoyed Badass there. He has a bit of a dick, but only he could pull off that badass look. So, let's move on to the next list, which is romances. My all-time favourite romances from any game, and unfortunately it is primarily dominated by Mass Effect and Dragon Age because they have the best romances in my opinion, and unfortunately no one will ever change my mind. And I'm just going to list them off here because I think most people will realize. One of my all-time, these are all my all-time favourites, and I'll tell you why. Number one is, well, no number one, but you know what I mean. Liara T'Soni from Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, just because she's such a powerful character. She's so intelligent, but she's also strong. She knows how to fight, and with her biotics she just kicks fucking ass. And she's so sweet and innocent and naive at the beginning, and you get to watch her mature. Even though she's over 100 years old, she's barely a child, and considering the Asari years. Does that make Commander Shepard a pedophile? Nah, she's good enough. But it's really cool how they perceive her at the start of the Mass Effect universe. At Mass Effect 1 as very naive, not been around humans a lot. She doesn't know how things work. She's like that, and then as you get to watch her mature, and that's what I love. And then eventually you go very affectionate towards her, and it's very, very cool, and it's fucking awesome. One of my all favorite romances is Tali, and in Mass Effect 3 I am going to have to choose between Tali or Liara. Mainly I like Tali for the same reason as Liara. You watch her mature. She's not been around humans a lot. She matures with your character as well, and she's very strong. She's determined. She's a strong character, and she's smart as hell. With her speciality, she's fucking amazing. She knows how to wield a shotgun, and plus, I just love that one line she says to Garrus when they're on the Citadel with it. I think it's a test party band. She says, "Do you remember when we were on those elevators? I have a shotgun." Simple as. She's just absolutely love her as a romance as well, because you feel she's very naive and very hot. And of course, I do love the mystery. I want to know what she looks like underneath the mask, but hopefully we'll see that in Mass Effect 3 if they decide to romance her, depending if they have a new character. Now let's move on to my other romances. My other one is Leliana. I just love her. She's a very strong character. She's sweet. She's innocent. She has the voice of an angel, and she seems very like. If you saw her in just a normal Chantry robe, you just look and go, okay, fucking another Chantry sister. But she could kill you as well as look at you. She's a bard, voice of an angel, absolutely spectacular. And I just love how deep the romance goes with her. That you help her out as a friend, and you go stronger feelings towards her, and it carries on. And she's very bashful, if you will, at the start. Like, oh, blush, and it's very sweet. One of my other favourite ones is Morrigan, just for the fact that she is a slut. Let's just face it. If she wants sex, she gets sex. If she wants you, she gets you. And of course she's very sassy and sarcastic, and she could kick your ass as well with magic, but then as you go fonder to her, she gets more fond of you, eventually evolves into a very strong and powerful romance, and she even doesn't want to, the romance to continue at one point, and you're like, I'm not going to leave you. I care for you and stuff like that, and it goes really well, and I absolutely love it. In any of my playthroughs, I'm always tossed between Liliana and Morrigan. Unfortunately, it's very tricky. And of course, I have to add one more in there. One other one is Meryl from Dragon Age 2. For one simple reason. She's the voice actor that plays one of my favourite characters in Torchwood, Wayne Cooper, and that accent just goes, oh shit, I'm butter in your hands. It's a Welsh accent and it's very, oh fuck. And I just love that she's very troubled as well. Especially if they do the Dalish elf origins from Dragon Age Origins and import it, she's very troubled at that point and I love it. It's very deep, very emotional, and you're like, oh, I want to help you, I want to cuddle you. And it's very sweet. Now let's move on to side characters. Now, some of my favourite side characters are primarily from the Mass Effect universe. There are some from Dragon Age and other games, but these ones are the ones that stick in my mind and I want to see them again. And I want to see them in continuing games and all that. It would be pretty damn fucking epic to see them there. One of my favourite ones from Mass Effect 2 is Kelly Chambers. For the main reason, she reminds me a lot of myself. Primarily, well, except for the fact that I don't have boobs. Well, I kind of do there. Boobies. But it's just the fact that she's very determined. She's very, how do you say it? It's just merely the one line that she says. Passion is nice wherever you can find it, in the arms of any race, species, or gender. I love that line. It's it's stuck in my mind ever since I heard it. And she's very, like, flirty and very, hi there. And I just love her character. I'm glad that she's going to be back in Mass Effect 3. Don't know how deep she'll be in Mass Effect 3. Maybe she'll just do the exact same thing she's done in Mass Effect 2, or maybe a bit more. We'll have to wait and see. And of course, she looks fucking hot in that stripper outfit. One of my other favourite ones is Joker. Main reason, Seth Green, I absolutely love him. He's an absolutely amazing actor. Funny as hell in all his roles. And of course, Joker, he's just funny as fuck. He has a lot of side comments and I love it. Another one of my favourite side characters in Mass Effect, actually all these are from Mass Effect unfortunately, is Captain Anderson. He basically reminds me a lot of Commander Shepard. In fact, he is basically Commander Shepard, but older. And I am in the middle of the process of trying to get a hold of the Revelations novel Mass Effect, which actually deals with Captain Anderson. But with Captain Anderson Captain Anderson, he doesn't know what he wants, in my opinion. He wants to be a soldier, but I see him as a council member, and I always put him in the council for one main reason. I fucking hate Udina. I fucking hate Udina, and I think Captain Anderson is the best role to represent humanity, and that's why I love him. Even though he doesn't want the job, he takes the job, and he does it. He does it spectacularly, and he kicks fucking ass at it. And of course, he's as skilled as Commander Shepard. He's an N7 Marine as well, and he's just an absolute fucking amazing character. That's all I need to say. And another one, of course, EDI. I fucking love her. She's just like Joker in my opinion, except for a robot. Oh, artificial intelligence. I'm kind of hoping that they do give her a body in Mass Effect 3, and the Joker EDI romance gets a little bit freaky. Just my little thing. Now let's move on to another one, which is bad guys. These are bad guys that have stuck in my head and still give me nightmares to this day. And one of the first ones on here is Master Lee from Jade Empire. I won't spoil it too much, but let's just say he doesn't start off as a bad guy, but he fucking turns at the most heart-wrenching scene ever in any BioWare game, in my opinion. And I'll leave an annotation by top 5 WTFs, and you can go and check it as my number 1 if you want to go and check it out. And it's such a heart-wrenching scene, and I'm like, oh, you fucking asshole. And it just makes me so mad at the same time. Another bad guy is the Flood from Halo. They give me nightmares. Ever since I saw my first Flood in Halo 1, I've been having nightmares about them, and they scare the shit out of me, because I'm like, run! And they're basically the zombies of space, and they fucking scare the shit out of me. Simple as. Another one is Loghain, primarily because he doesn't believe he's the bad guy, and in a way he isn't, but in the same way he is, because he thinks he knows better for everyone. He thinks he's right, he's never wrong. So And of course, you have to try and convince him not, or kill him. And he's a dick, so I kill him. And he's just he's a brilliant bad guy. He doesn't believe he's doing wrong. He thinks he's doing the right thing. But in the end, he realises he did do the wrong thing. And another one is from Mass Effect, which is Saren Artorias. I think that's how I pronounce his name. Mainly because he basically thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's doing it by the wrong methods. And he is a fucking psycho. He's a fucking crazy asshole. Mainly because of Sovereign. But he just sticks in my mind because he's such he's a troubled character. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks the only way to save the universe is to destroy it. Simple as. And of course, if you're smart enough and charming enough in Mass Effect, you can convince him that you're right and he's wrong, and he kills himself, which is the best fucking way. But I was like, thank God, no final boss battle. And then of course there is one. Fuck. And it's just absolutely brilliant. It's just he throughout the game he's portrayed as a bad guy, and then at one point you feel sorry for him, and that's what, if a bad guy can make you feel sorry for him, he's doing his job right. Simple as. Now let's move on to the final one, which is childhood. The characters from my childhood that are always going to be with me, and one of the first ones that comes up is Crash Bandicoot. Simple as, it's an addictive game. It's fun as hell to play, and I do enjoy playing it every now and then. I played it on the PlayStation 1, played almost every version of Crash Bandicoot, and I fucking love it. He's just a brilliant character, and he's so fucking cuckoo and insane. And of course, gotta have the classic Mario. I absolutely love Mario. I've played not every Mario game. He was one of the first games I ever picked up, and that's why he sticks in my mind. The first ever game I played was Mario 6. Well, not the first ever, but the first ever 3D game was Mario 64, and I fell in love with it. And if it wasn't for Mario 64, I wouldn't be playing games today. So simple as. So that's my gaming characters, and that's why they're on all my favourites, and I couldn't choose between them all. So if you want, please don't hesitate to let me know what your favourite gaming character is. So either put it down there in the comment section, or if you're up for it, do a video response to this video and let me know your favourite gaming characters. And as always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy it and you agree with my list, please don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button, and if you don't, click the thumbs down button. And as always, if you want to see more videos like these, please don't hesitate to join the clan and click the subscribe button up above, and I'll see you all later. Ciao for now.